Hey, buddy.
Hey, man.
How's it goes?
Good?
Good, good. What's going on, everybody? This is Jayrome and Raph back for another edition of the Stellar Takeover live here on YouTube. And we've got a good show for you today. We even have a guest. Hopefully, we can figure out how to make that happen smoothly. But yeah, we got a cool show. We want to jump right into it. We've got a few things, bookkeeping stuff to take care of here before we get going too far. First of which, going to be more of a Q&A or a little bit more participation this time. If you guys have any comments, toss them in the chat. We will get to them as we get to anything relevant as we talk. Otherwise, at the end, we will answer those questions or speculate with you, whatever needs to be. But if you've joined us before, you'll know that each show we give out participation NFTs. And we've said that on our fifth show, we were going to add some sort of functionality. Functionality in this case is actually a swag box giveaway. So we have a pretty sweet swag box to give away. Let me pull that awesome picture up here. Boom.
Woo!
Swaggy box. We've got a stellar hat, a stellar water bottle. You got stellar socks. You can call it a diary. It's a notepad. Got some sweet stellar stickers there, all free to you.
There's a bunch of stuff that I don't have in here. There's like the water bottle and the moleskin. That's a nice moleskin too. Like,
yeah,
premium. There's no sunglasses.
Nobody is getting sunglasses. Those are hard to come by. Very hard to come by. So what we're gonna do? We have a spin the wheel set up with all of the holders of our NFTs, and Ralph's got that here, and we're gonna give it a spin, and then sometime during the show I'll look up and make sure I have the Twitter handle of who that belongs to, so I can contact you and grab your info and send you off all this swag for the box. So let's go ahead and give her a spin here.
Yeah, so these are all the people that have claimed it. If you did not claim it, you're not on this list, unfortunately. Yeah. So
guys, claim your NFTs, man.
We did take ourselves out, so
it's the coolest artwork you're ever gonna see. And for people that are here for this show, you will definitely want today's NFT. We can explain it later, but I think we actually paid someone big bucks for this one. So
I'll show it off. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very
okay. Cool. So let's do this. Drum roll, please.
This is our first giveaway. Next time we're gonna get some cool stuff. We got Meridian coming up. We are going to get on the line here. We have to do a redraw.
So 3YDV.
3YDV. So I will look that up during the show while we're talking and make sure 3YDV. I know who you are, and I can get a hold of you and get your address. Hopefully, you don't live halfway across the world, and it's like $80 for me to send you this box, freedom dollars. But we'll figure it out. We'll
send you like $20 instead.
Yeah. In lieu of, we will send you money in lieu of to save money on shipping.
We'll redraw for someone else.
Yeah. So congratulations. Appreciate you guys. I mean, we've only been doing these shows. We started on Twitter Spaces. Now we moved over to live video. Super fun. I'm enjoying this, and I'm glad you guys join in with us, having fun. And the NFT thing was just kind of an extra thing that we thought of at the last minute to do, but I think it's pretty cool, and we'll figure out extra ways to. It was Amir. Oh my gosh, immediate DQ. Can't let Amir steal all the
has all the swag too.
he's probably already swagged out. But anyways, congratulations, Amir. Then I don't have to look too far if we already know who it is. So anyways, thanks for everyone that always joins in, and if you share this with your friends, all that good stuff, we appreciate it. Help us get the good stellar word out. So cool. So what else? We'll jump right into it. What's the first thing we want to go over here?
Converge.
And
we do have a special guest today.
We do have a special guest, and I mean,
it's kind of weird having him as a guest instead of the interviewer.
Yeah, but now we've actually never been a guest with him, because I mean, it was kind of this transition here where our predecessor, I guess, almost kind of is going off and doing bigger things, and now we're in the transition phase. So it's cool to have him on, have a talk. So
All right,
shall
well,
we?
big reveal,
Let's do it.
Mr. Sam.
What's up?
Man. Oh, Sam, I
Hey, how you
wanted
guys
so
doing?
bad to get
Okay.
an audio effect of your explosion for when we brought you in, but I didn't have enough time to get the audio clip of the explosion that you used. But we're not on that level yet, I
We
guess.
also need like a DJ intro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're amateur level compared to what you used to put together, but we figured we're going to talk Converge, and we're on a stellar show. I mean, there's no better guy to have on than the guy who used to do all this stellar stuff and is now just running around Converge, talking to all the big wigs and rubbing elbows with all the people that are making all the big decisions. So welcome. We want to chat with you about your experience at Converge.
man. First of all, thanks for having me out. Converge was definitely an experience. When I first came into the crypto world, I literally had like an iPhone. I was literally at an iPhone at Meridian, just at the first Meridian, kind of walking around and bringing a phone up to people. Matter of fact, the first one I did was Fred was recording on the iPhone. What was the other one? Settle was an iPhone. The Settle interview was an iPhone.
I think I remember Tyler, or it was a picture, or maybe a short video with Tyler, but I think he was actually
iPhone.
still
Yeah.
Interstellar back then. Tyler was
No,
still,
no, Tyler. He was independent. He was just independent at the time.
was he?
Yeah. He was just independent in the community. But yeah, that was all iPhone stuff. So it definitely was. I had to pinch myself. It's like a whole camera crew, and really for the first time having somebody say, "Hey, look, we trust you as a producer, and we're gonna give you access to whatever you need. Go out and have fun." So it was great. It was a great experience.
Well, you made a name for yourself, right? Now you built a brand.
I appreciate it. It's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of passion. I think that at the end of the day, um, there's a competing storyline of what this whole entire crypto and blockchain opportunities that exist, and so it's really about making sure that, for me, it's always been like making sure we tell that other side, that non-speculative, non crazy side, just kind of the opportunities, people that are building on it. So Converge was a great celebration of that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, obviously, we're on a stellar show. You come from a stellar background, and I would love to just talk stellar with you. But I mean, what are kind of the overwhelming themes that you heard and saw around the event? I mean, obviously, it was all USDC kind of centric, but like, what are the things? I mean, we can assume, but what are the things that you hear? Like, what are people talking about the most?
Whew. Yeah, it's a lot. I think that it's a testament, right? So at the conference, we had the major players from every major, like, bank, credit card, blockchain, talking stellar, of course. Not only Danelle was there, but you had Danelle, you had the entire leadership
The
from
Vibrant team.
Vibrant Team, and others that were there, business development team. I think that the overall theme, I guess, was, if we're gonna really, here we are, like, what, 10, 12 years into this whole blockchain evolution, and we really still haven't made that full transition to worldwide adoption, right? People are so skeptical. You had the whole Terra Luna crash, and you still have all these big pump and dump things going on. I think there's this kind of convergence, so to speak, of, like, if we're gonna really move across, we need to have a trusted currency that everybody wants to use, and that's USDC. And so I think even if you go back to what Jed originally envisioned, he said the same exact thing. He said people aren't just going to go from, fiat to all of a sudden believing on any cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin, XLM, whatever it is. It's like, if you really want to have that transition, you need to have, something that they're used to, and USDC was that tool. So it was really great. I mean, especially from my point of view, to really get to meet leaders from Solana and all the way up to, let's say, Visa, or BNY Mellon was there. Like, I mean, all these major players, to really have these kind of one-on-one conversations with them. It was awesome.
One thing that showed up in the future of crypto regulations video today was, stablecoins allow regulators also to wrap their heads around the idea of blockchain. It's kind of like a pathway to understanding, how different consensus mechanisms, like knowing that something is pegged or is like relatively pegged, is an easier concept to grasp. So, it is a very good entryway. And like you're saying, talking with Visa, I guarantee you lots of traditional finance people are coming to these events. They need to understand it. They don't have an excuse not to anymore.
Yeah. And it's, it's even talking to people, at the higher level, right? And so I used to always wonder, like, why is there such a slow level of adoption? Well, when you look at a lot of these developing countries, when they're sitting on all this money, where do they want to put that money? They want to put that money in the stock market. That's like the easiest place to dump billions of dollars, right? It's the easiest place to store your money. And to have access to the stock market, you got to be in good standing with the SEC. You don't want the SEC saying that, hey, look, you as a country, you're doing something crazy, or you as a major, international conglomeration, you're doing something crazy. And so, once again, to your point, what Circle has kind of built as a standard with the stable coin really is like a great bridge, so to speak, as you said, for people to understand it, and hopefully we can get some of these major regulatory clarities in the near future, and we can really start to see adoption at a large scale.
Well, like when you think about, emerging economies not having access to bank accounts, well, we finally enabled them to participate in all these these previously traditional finance tools that they would never have access to beforehand. So it is a great, like say, bridge. It's a great onboarding mechanism into, economic inclusion, which is something that they've never had access to. Even, for example, I don't know if it was Tribal or whatever that was, or even Leaf, with access to credit. These people have never had access to credit before. That's massive. So again, having the ability for stability through the USDC is massive.
There was a great article, not an article, but a report that one of our internal folks did. It's really great. It's by Gillian. I have to send you the link. But he was able to really, from a research perspective, really break down, if you were to compare, let's say, the amount of transparency and clarity that Circle offers compared to your local bank. And the truth is, I mean, if you think about it, if you were to go to your bank right now, you don't really know exactly how much of your money is actually in there.
Yeah.
You can see an attestation every single month of exactly how much USDC is on hold in cash and cash equivalent. So, treasury bonds and whatnot. I mean, it speaks for yourself as far as a level of trust that, once again, Circle has created.
With the Argentinian UFC fighter, that was pretty cool. The whole idea of, he's receiving payment in crypto, but he's not receiving in a volatile asset. He's receiving the US dollar. So that was
right.
He won, man. It's
like, and he won.
Apparently, he was an underdog. Our UFC insider Jeff said he was a big underdog, but he pulled off the submission win, I think, in the first round. So,
no, that was great. I got to. It's the same day that the note came out was actually the day I was talking to Danelle, and so that was kind of a cool topic to bring up to her, of just like this massive adoption that's going on. It's crazy.
Yeah. So speaking of the Danelle thing, we know she had a talk there, and it was mostly MoneyGram related or whatever, but there was obviously no live video or anything like that. Can you kind of give us a rundown? Did you see her talk there, or what she talked about? Kind of give us an idea.
Yeah, I mean, basically on the same things that she's talked about, up until now. I think that what Stellar has really been able to, kind of align themselves with, I think, really great. I mean, even today, right, you had that regulatory chat, and once again, Stellar was involved. Stellar has really been focused on clean, regulatory, real world use cases and examples of how to bring people on chain, and the spread of money. And so she really, hit on that in the way that she does so eloquently, really just explaining how, Stellar is a huge conduit to really open up some opportunities for people that didn't have access to it before. Even being able to go, with the UFC fighter payment is such a big deal. There's a lot of people in these countries that can't we would, even people from the States would love to hire them as developers or UFC fighters, but that the way of trying to transfer money is very difficult, very costly. So yeah, it was a great conversation. She had the main stage. It was awesome.
And then there's a clip, and we're about to play it actually, and it's about how after her talk about financial aid or foreign aid, she talks about all these other associations that went to go see her and talk to her and be like, hey, we want to do this. These are things that we can do. We see real change that your organization is bringing.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. I believe it. I mean, it's I think that Stellar has, like I said, really kind of established themselves within that space, and it was evident. I mean, just their presence that they've had on all these different stages with regulation, and really just what the apps that they've kind of focused on. They really focused on the payment apps. So and their partnership with Bitwage, I think, is a great example of that.
Absolutely. Should I cue the video? I think it kind of sums it all up pretty nicely.
Yeah, go ahead, play the video.
About today is having the panel focusing on social impact. I got to talk about the real use cases, got to talk about aid and like really delivering aid using USDC, using Stellar, using wallets and MoneyGram. And then after that panel, like so many different aid organizations came up to talk about like, hey, can this solution really help us? That's what it means to come together live. I know it's really hard for some folks to be able to get to locations and to do things, but like those impromptu conversations are sort of invaluable.
Yeah, that was great. That was our sit down that we had. That was like,
yeah, we were wondering if you were the one behind the camera.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That was me, man. Yeah, there's a lot more to it, and hopefully, it's kind of in doing this is my first, obviously, like a major event like this, and just seeing the massive turnaround with the team to try to get these clips out in real time was a lot of work. And shout out to the team. We had about eight or nine folks that were all working together behind the scenes on it. But it was a great conversation. As we're going through everything, we have we have our comms team and everybody's trying to take notes of all the great things that she was saying. And there was a lot of it. A lot of people were impressed. I messaged Jordan afterwards. I sent him a text. I was like, man, like that was really good. She really made a deep impression on the folks there at Circle that were listening. And I think that's what's kind of cool, between that, being able to be in that spot to reach out to Jordan and be like, hey, look, I want to get Danelle, I want to get Danelle on here and do a video and have that connection. I think was great to be able to reach out to Fred and say, hey, look, I want to do a Twitter space and get this on a platform that's larger. You know what I mean? That's wide. And then to have Fred on that stage with Recur, to me was great. And it's something that I hope to do a lot more of, of really just kind of, a lot of people don't really know what Stellar's doing. And obviously, like you said, I've been seeing it for a long time. So it's exciting to just, be able to continue that journey and create those avenues.
Yeah, we're really happy to have you there. We were talking about you last show. And it's interesting because we see with the Discord, we see you as a spokesperson for Stellar. And like, for example, in the blockchain space, it's so easy to get lost in what everyone's doing. And it was funny because we see Jeremy Allaire, who was jumping into conversation with Vibrant and being like, hey, how do I use this? Like, okay, he's like, I'm on board. Okay, let's go. So these are the conversations when, and to be fair with you, I'll be honest. I find that for a couple of months there, there was kind of like a quiet between USDC and Stellar, and we didn't know like if they just had other priorities or whatnot. But we can see that conversation with Stellar and with Circle right now is just like full blown. Like we are like, again, we'll talk about the multi-chain cross-chain tool in a second. We see them, they're coming to Meridian, the conversations, the panel talks that they're having together, like we can see massive cooperation. And I think Stellar is finally becoming a forefront in the Circle message.
Well, yeah, man. Shout out to Jeremy, man. He's a great leader. I can't say anything bad about just my experience of just being around him. He's a visionary. And I love the fact that he's so accessible, down to earth.
Yeah.
It's like he's on Twitter. He'll jump into the Discord. He'll jump into the Slack channel, and he's really deeply involved in what's going on.
He's got a great podcast. Great podcast. He's just interviewing.
Yeah, he's a natural, man. Like I said, from my perspective, kind of seeing things on that scale. I was sitting down there watching him interview Kevin O'Leary for his Money Movement that's going to be coming out, and cool. It's just cool to kind of see, at that level of kind of what he's done. And he's got I don't think people realize how great of a history he has. He's a developer. I did another Twitter space with Joao, who's our VP of product management. I definitely encourage everyone to check that one out. But it was interesting because Joao, who's developer and into product, he's been with Circle for a long time. He said one of the first products many years ago, one of the softwares that he purchased was from the Alaire company, which was Jeremy and his brother way back in the day. So yeah, he's really deep and passionate on the developer side. So yeah, shout out to Jeremy.
It always makes me think back to the whole Michael Dowling, FairX stuff, where they wanted to do like a banking system, on chain, but they ran into regulation issues. And like convincing regulators now versus convincing regulators back then was a completely different conversation. But you can see someone who lasted through that entire bit was Jeremy Allaire. Doing the same thing, working with the same regulators, powered through. And like in that takes time and that takes effort. And for someone to get through to those people, that person is just well-spoken and knows his stuff.
Yeah, it goes to the culture. I think that, the culture there is really hard work and focus. It's really trying to, I guess, it's about building real relationships and really getting out there and being on the forefront and really trying to grind it out. So yeah, I think that's what we see in Jeremy. And that culture kind of like runs through the whole entire, organization. So it's really interesting to see.
I'm going to jump into the multi-tool if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's super cool. So again, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but the cross-chain tool that USDC's kind of unveiled at Converge is it's almost like a pseudo bridge, and what it does is that it allows wallet creators to enable this cross-chain tool to move USDC from one chain to another. And how they do that is they watch for a burn. So they watch for a burn, they see that it's like destroyed on one chain, and then they can issue or mint the asset on another. Something that's like just really cool. And we used to have like swap tools in Stellar with the USD swap chain swap that we used to have from Ultrastellar. But this just seems like a very trustless manner where you're only really depending on a Circle, the issuer of the token, and it's going to allow people that participate in Stellar to participate in all networks. So creating that, interoperability that we've been really striving for.
Yeah, I think that that was a huge announcement. Very excited to be able to kind of release a lot more details on that in the near future. But yeah, I think that's going to be great. I think that having that access. So we have a lot of our products and tools, but to have this where developers can kind of create their own products and and also create take away a lot of the risks that come with it. I got like a little video actually on the Circle Discord that shows how it's done, and it's pretty crazy to see in real life. So I'll have to post it in the Stellar Global as well.
What I find cool is this is like poster board for Stellar USDC adoption, because let's say you onboard at MoneyGram. Well, now you don't have to just stay on Stellar. You can go anywhere. It's not just a one-stop shop. So, and it goes both ways too. So, for example, when we look at, Binance adopting Stellar USDC, okay, well, where are you sending that Stellar USDC? Is it just to a Stellar wallet? Well, no. Now you can go to your wallet and then you can interact with other chains completely. Like it just really opens a lot of doors. And for anybody around the world to onboard through MoneyGram or any USD Stellar USDC tools, it's like gives them like the opportunity for any kind of DeFi opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's going to be huge. I'm really excited about that one in particular.
Yeah. Like, for example, the guy from, again, back to Argentina, like, is taking Stellar USDC, but he can go and do stuff on Ethereum with it. Like, it's just not
Right.
just
And
because he's
and it's
on.
not a wrapped
Yeah.
asset either,
Yeah.
That's where a lot of when you have these wrapped assets, there's a lot of risk because, you're wrapping them and now you have this area of risk, but having it just minted directly over is
Have
really
you
a game changer.
have you talked to the Stacks people? Like
No.
okay. And that was kind of cool too because they're using like USSD for sending USDC between phones. But well, now you can use Stellar to make those quick transactions between phone. And then when you want to do something more complicated, well, again, now you can go and do something on another chain. So again, we use the forces, the strengths of Stellar, and then we can use the strengths of any other chain or any other tool on any other chain to empower our users.
Yeah. It's gonna
You
be
mentioned that coming soon or something more about that. Is there a certain time frame we're looking for to get more details about this?
I got a matter of fact, the guy right there in that image, that's my new buddy. I'm trying to, we're getting a lot of calls on it. A lot of people in the Discord messaging want to get the insights on it. So hopefully soon. Like I said, it's a popular tool, and I think it's something that we want to have come out because a lot of our focus right now is going to be on really building out our developer ecosystem. I think that up until now, people just looked at USDC as a stable coin, but in reality, we're a platform, and we have a lot of tools. This is just one of them. There was also the announcement of our one-stop checkout, which is also, it's so clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you look at it, anybody could put it onto their website, and you can start using it for merchant transactions. And it connects with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Visa, credit, everything, And so there's a lot of tools that we have. We have, Center, who owns actually that's where USDC is, which is the Center, organization. They have Verity, which is a decentralized identity. Once again, another opportunity. We have Sabavo now, another great tool that we have for developers to really use to kind of build out their businesses. So, going back to that, to this cross chain, it's just something I know we want to try to get out as quickly as we can to everybody.
Is your brain just going like 100 miles a minute with all this new information? Like,
yeah,
it
man,
hasn't been that long that you've been over there, and now you're just like this wealth of information about this, all these different concepts. It's like you've got to just be staying up all hours of the night, or running up when you're running on your treadmill before Converge or something.
Man,
just I'm picturing you just like with a book in front of you the whole time, just like trying to cram for an exam or something.
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, when I got there, I think like the second week I was in Portugal, and then and so you're there and there's all this stuff going on, and then Converge, then Meridian, and then 2 weeks in Africa as well. I'm going to go out there. We partnered with the Mara Foundation, and we're going to be working with them to onboard developers once again, all developer focused. So I'm really excited about that trip to Africa as well. And then after that, back to Portugal. So yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but what I tell people, I mean, they're doing something real over there. It's not like a fantasy world, and I guess because being so close to everything that's going on, and so it's like it's either I take my time, and it costs not just myself but maybe other businesses their ability to do things, or I get my act together and try to get everything up as quickly as possible so that way I can start being effective. And I'd rather try to be effective as possible.
No,
Cool, man. Well,
I'm really happy for you.
yeah, I'm glad
guys.
you jumped on and walked us through some of that. We definitely it was good. It was a big part of our show today. We wanted to talk about that stuff, and so we're glad that you were willing to jump on with us.
I have a hard
guys,
time
and chat
picturing
about it.
what's next for Sam. Like again, after this,
I'll be here for a
5,
while.
10 years from now, you know what I mean? Like you're
Hopefully
always
we'll have some regulatory clarity, man. Hopefully we'll have that very soon. That's what I hope. I think that would open up just a lot more opportunities, because then there's so many businesses on the sideline that want to come in. So so that's the near focus. But yeah, I think I'll be around this space for a while. And
How powerful is that? Thinking you're like, once traditional finance is able to participate, or regular consumers can participate with USDC, you're someone that can, steer that path. Like that's cool.
I mean, that's what keeps me working all night, man. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's real. People are actually utilizing it. Even like getting a chance to talk to people that work on OTC desks, and to hear like it's not just traders that are doing this. It's like a family that needs to close a deal and like move into their house this weekend, but the bank didn't get their deposit or their final closing document till after 2. So they got a choice. They can either go through an OTC and the lender can transfer the money for the loan so they can close, or they wait until like Monday, Tuesday to close. So there's a lot of really like real world use cases that are happening right now as we speak. But yeah, it's exciting. But congratulations to you guys, man. It's great to see the show to really come on. I look forward to helping any way I can with you guys. I think it's awesome that you're putting this content out. It's great to see you guys out there in Stellar Global doing everything and interacting. Just want to say I appreciate what you guys are doing as well.
Thanks, Sam.
Of course, yeah. And we'll see you in what? We got 1 week from today, about.
Yeah. I'll be
exactly
there.
like a week from today. We'll be rubbing elbows, sending some drinks down the old throat in Rome.
That's right. That first Tuesday, man, we're gonna have some fun. All the Stellar people that are gonna be, all the community folks are gonna be there. Definitely come and hang out with us. We're gonna have some good times.
Did we announce Tuesday?
I don't think we. I think I just did. I think I just did.
It's a word of mouth. It's a word of mouth invite only.
So. Yeah, word of mouth for those that flew all the way out to
all the way out to Rome.
To
you fly all the way to Rome. We can all have a drink
hang
together.
out.
We'll be crashing a hotel bar.
Yes, that's how we're gonna do it. That's
awesome.
how we're gonna do it.
Appreciate you, Sam. We'll let you hop off here while we chat about Meridian stuff. But appreciate you, and we'll see you a week from today.
Absolutely. All right, see you guys next week.
Thanks, Sam.
Ciao. Later.
Nice.
That's cool, eh?
That was pretty successful. A first guest, man.
I mean, we never even chatted what his official title was.
Director something. Director.
What do you
do? Level. So, cool. But before we move into Meridian, Amir has told us that we can redraw because Amir has confirmed that we can redraw. So why don't we spin it up again super quick and get someone new here?
Amir, you don't want like a couple of extra moleskins / whatever?
Yeah, give it a spin. He wanted a few of the items, but he said he had one of the other things or something. So
let me just see if I can just remove him real quick here.
It doesn't matter if he pops up again.
Okay, if he shows up.
Yeah,
as long as he's not our entire list. V, right? Through UIDV?
UIDV, yeah. Just spin her again. And
Amir.
He's a holder, man. There's
another one
there.
Yeah.
Oh, look, he's killing everybody. There we go. All right. Give her a spin. Let's see if we can find someone new here.
Drum roll, please.
We got to get more sound effects here going. That looks familiar. That looks familiar.
I think it's someone we see at Meridian too. So maybe we can bring him his bucks.
Oh, that's true. Hopefully I get a free check bag. It's not like the heaviest thing in the world, but it's not. Oh, okay. Now I remember who it is. Okay. He's already showing himself here.
Oh, that's
Wait,
not him. I was trying to do
oh, we're just
There you
showing
go.
everything. There we go.
There you go.
Nice. Enrique gets it there. Cool. Well, thanks, Amir, for passing it over to Enrique. So
I'm
now
just
we
gonna
got-
remove it just in case Enrique changes his mind.
that is final. We only do one redraw. You're not allowed to give it back. So cool, man. That was awesome. That was a good start to the show there. I got a successful first guest out of the way. So
Can
I'm
I
just realizing
quickly
that I got
chat?
some light coming in my window here.
I know it's like
Okay, so that's
off
kinda cool.
off our list here, but can I quickly chat about our NFTs and our Pope?
Do it.
Yeah, I think this. I think it's kind of cool that we're doing it. So, yeah, every time we have a show, we give out an NFT. You DM us your public key, the ones that starts with G, not S, and we will send you a claimable balance for an NFT. And then after a couple of shows, we do some draws for some swag, and we'll have some more swag in the future, more prizes. So again, attend, collect, and win.
Yeah. And so just so everyone knows, everyone who had at least one, every NFT of the first 4 shows that you had got you one entry. So the first thing we had sitting around was a swag box and some extra stuff. The hat wasn't actually a part of that. I don't think. I kind of combined 2 boxes I had sitting around. So that's how we did the entries. But that was just the first way we had to give away some stuff. So but yeah, we'll think of some different ways.
We take turns every week creating the artwork for the NFTs.
You need to do air quotes on creating. I wouldn't say I've created much, but
I've spent time in Photoshop for some of these. They're not good. Don't get me. Yours are great.
Oh, yeah.
Mine not so much. But hey, I've spent time working on them. This week's a little different though. This week, I'm a teacher, so I walked up to a grade 8 kid yesterday and I said, I got $6 in my pocket. Can I get you to draw a giraffe for us? Pulled him out of class. I'm like, do you have any homework tonight? And he said, I just got a test. And I was like, can you do this? So this is what he came up with.
That's like 12 tacos or something. I don't know.
This guy, he made this
Bam.
for us. It's actually a watercolor. Turned out really good. I don't know if he knows it's minted, but it's mine. So
Well, you can do a lesson in your class and say, hey, so and so from whatever grade just made this, and now it's an NFT, and go into the whole thing.
I thought that's pretty cool, though. Anyways, it's a little piece of this great artist. He's just amazing. So when I knew it was my turn this week, I knew where to go. So this is Oscar here.
That's
Oscar,
what $6 gets you. Now watch. We should actually just sell these for like
That's the
$10.
floor. Yeah.
Just sell them for like $10, then go back to the kid and say, here's like $150. People bought that, and then it'll just like blow his mind, and he might, become an artist, like an NFT artist.
But not the first time I bought art off of him, but I'm really happy to see that the next generation sees, a passion or a future in art. So anyways, cool little segue here to our Pope.
So that'll be episode 5, today's NFT. So at the end of the show, we'll pop up a screen that has our Twitter handles or Discord, whatever way you want to get us your public key, and we will drop you a claimable balance for today's show, which that awesome artwork. So cool. So the meat of the show the meat of the show became Converge and all that good stuff, since Sam was willing to join us. But we were going to go over Meridian stuff because we've talked about it. We talked about it last show. There's just kind of some overwhelming themes that are kind of developing that are hopefully intertwined, that we don't really do speculation, not real big speculators, but I think we can kind of tie a little bit of this stuff together from some things we've heard before. So there's kind of 3 main things that we're seeing, or at least that I see at Meridian, and that's digital identity, humanitarian aid, and bridges. So, and we'll kind of dive into all 3 of those kind of individually, but I think you've done a lot of research on the speakers and stuff like that, and can probably make mention of some of the people and companies that are related to the digital identity aspect of the event.
So we're not going to go through the entire thing that we went through last video.
Yeah,
it's just really going to be, some points here. I'm going to share my screen here and talk about a few of them. There's one that doesn't really work with any of the sections you talked about, and that's This guy here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is
Alexis is kind of an unknown here. We don't really know. So, or go ahead. He was just recently kind of thrown into the mix here, and we're not really sure what to make of this.
Yeah, so he is. I think he has a venture capital investment, whatever majig. He is the one of the co-founders of Reddit. And so what's interesting is that he's doing the Welcome to Meridian and Fireside chat at the start. And for someone that's never been involved in Stellar, at least that we know of, this
Yeah,
is
back in, this is going back, dating myself a little bit. I remember he posted this tweet back in 2018, definitely worth subscribing to in 2018, with a link to the Stellar subreddit.
yeah.
So that's really the only thing that I remember about this guy. Really, I haven't heard anything from him, period, in a long time. And I know he made a bunch of money and is kind of doing the VC thing. But in this, it makes mention that he's investing in a bunch of like Web3 stuff. But it's really interesting that like he just comes out of nowhere and is all of a sudden sitting next to Danelle to basically open Meridian. It's like,
Yeah.
welcome to Meridian. And then like here's Alexis Ohanian next to me, and like Stellar, SDF Twitter, they've posted about it multiple times. The director of comms, I think it is, like Lauren, like I think it's director of comms, but anyways, she's posted about it, like quote tweeted it and stuff like that, and it seems, we don't know how it fits. Like we literally don't know how it fits. You might have an idea that how it fits, but
Yes. So that's our speculation, I guess. Hey, so we were talking about this last night. This is from back in 2018. There was like a random article that was posted on Twitter, and then some guy responded. He's like, he's an advisor at Stellar Development Foundation. Did you know? And then he responds, I am. That's news to me. I'd be down to meet the team though. So like for me, for someone that's opening Meridian, I don't know. If I was going to speculate, I would say, I don't know, maybe as the biggest troll move ever, maybe after all these years, he's moving onto the board. Maybe he's becoming an advisor.
Yeah. And when you said that, I was kind of like, what? And then like, just the fact that he's coming out of seemingly nowhere to then sit beside Danelle to open the show. It's literally a Stellar conference, and I'm going to say they talk about other stuff, but it's really a Stellar conference, and like that's the opening of the entire event, and he's going to be sitting there. So, it's speculation, who knows, but it could be something like that.
We had talked maybe that the guy from Stripe might be leaving the board, right? Maybe that's what it is. We're just speculating.
Yeah, we're just two guys. We're just two guys on YouTube. We have no idea what we're talking about.
But Stripe has
yeah, and it is, if we're gonna speculate that high level of maybe he joins the board or something like that, which I don't even know what that would equate to. What is that? Does that really mean anything in the end for us? Obviously he's doing a lot of cool stuff in the space apparently, but one interesting thing is that's at 10 o'clock in the morning to open the show on Tuesday. Immediately following that, on the same stage, is when they have the fireside chat with Jed and David.
Yeah.
So it kind of rolls right into that. So yeah, maybe he, sticks around. Danelle sticks around, and the agenda for this event is crazy. It's like there's no time, there's no transition time. If you want to go to an event, it like ends. It might end at 10:30, and then the next one that you might want to go to at a different like stage starts at 10:30. So there's going to be like, you're going to miss a few minutes of all these events as we travel around. So Raph and I will both be there trying to
split
update
up
people on as much as we can. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy event. So that's our.
One thing that it does make it meaningful for me, if he does join the board, why it is meaningful for me is that it's a vote of confidence. We haven't had a lot of changes on the board for a really long time, and maybe the people that had the same ideas as Stellar when they, Stellar came to, maybe, I don't know if their attention is waning or whatnot, but someone who's joining is saying, I agree with the vision or the vision and the choices and development that's happening now, and I want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So that for me, it's a vote of confidence.
It's true. We'll hear a week from now. We'll know what he was really there for. If he had anything, if he just maybe they've been good buds for a long time and he just wanted to come join, and he's doing cool enough stuff that's semi-related that Danelle said, come hang out. But they've got 30 minutes. 30
And
minutes
then
to
if
hang out.
not, he great guy. Seems like a great guy to have a beer with. So
There you go. Maybe he'll hang out for the cocktail hour and we'll get to, I don't know. Do we give him handshakes? Do we give elbow bumps, knuckles? We'll have to.
depends on your signal, right?
Yeah. Do we get like a little sticker? Or, I don't
Green's
know.
going
I'll be
go for a
green.
hug.
Feel free. Bring it in for the real thing. Hugs. You know, I'm
Coming in,
open.
bring it in, man.
Yeah, bring it in for the real thing.
Maybe you're gonna get able to cash in your Jeb hug token.
Yeah, I'll have to load up, see if there's any on the decks. I don't know, but yeah. So he kind of stuck out. But then the digital identity. So there's like Flex ID. There's a talk on the last day. So I mean,
Yeah, there's a
I could say
couple.
historically, but 2019, the in-person event when Danelle announced the burn of the 50 billion, which was kind of like a at the end of the event, it was filled that slot at the end of the event. That's kind of where the identity stuff fit in. I believe it was on the last day.
It'll
And
be fun.
let's see.
It's the closing talk, right?
The closing talks seem to be bridges because that's the trusted and trustless.
We've had changes on that front too. We got a new player that showed up.
Still everything in flux, but so there's a lot of not a lot of events, but there's some talks and even a focus on the homepage of the Meridian site. One of the featured things is what is it listed as? Yeah, featured sessions is the very first one is creating a digital identity. So
John, turn on screen.
yeah, it's not interesting. But I mean that if there is a way to obviously prove identity, it will pair perfectly with the second thing that seems to definitely be a focus of the week's event, and that's the humanitarian aid. And I mean, we've seen evidence of them working on this for months and months now. It first showed up. We saw some transaction memos with USDC that had UNHCR in the memo.
Oh,
so some people caught on to that and tipped us off to that. So we kind of got a hint that there might be something working there. And then back, I think in maybe March, the COO was doing a talk. Jason was doing a talk at the Paris Blockchain Week Summit, and pretty much said that they were working on something. Didn't say who, just kind of said humanitarian stuff that they were working on and hope to share more soon. So it's kind of stuff is starting to line up. And then, which I mentioned before, maybe our last show, the Danelle's blog post, her 3 is a magic number, where she said, there's something big coming soon. I hope to be able to talk about that, which is this right here. This is part of her blog post. So she was talking about MoneyGram and stuff like that. And then she said about this product required so much work of the past, leveraging the strengths of the network architecture, as well as USDC, Wire, Vibrant, Lobster, and creating real interoperability with the traditional financial infrastructure. And that pointed down to this little quote here that I can't help myself from mentioning, that there is also another big initiative on the horizon that brings some of these components together. So we still haven't, and her kind of Discord AMA that she came and did with us, I did ask, is that something that we missed? Just like we didn't notice that that's what you were talking about. And she did say that was still something that was pending, and would kind of be talked about when it was time to talk about it. So things kind of seem to be lining up. I mean, that works perfect with identity. I mean, Could you imagine UNHCR actually already takes donations in crypto, but that's just the equivalent of cash. I think what Stellar is hopefully envisioning here to pair with the identity solution is hopefully something where I donate $100 to a Ukraine relief effort, and I can see on the network that my $100 goes in, and then a ton of micropayments, say it's a daily or a weekly disbursement to all of these identity verified wallets, Vibrant they have. I can actually see that $100 go out. So it's not just donating and, okay, I assume, I trust this organization to send the funds where they need to go. there's that level of, traceability where it's getting where it needs to go. So I think those two things, the digital identity and something like humanitarian aid, go together perfect.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got, this lady Carmen Het that's from the UNHCR, and there's a couple other people that are from UN agencies, I think, that are
There's
also there.
Arun J. I think he's a little different actually. He's the United Nations Capital Development Fund, and then he's also worked with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation too, which is kind of cool, to enable financial inclusion. And then historically, Bill Gates has been very anti-crypto, but through his foundation, he's actually working for financial inclusion. So maybe this is a kind of a cool angle for new players to be involved and getting people on board and helping people out.
Yeah. I mean, that'd be huge. I think I've mentioned this before, that sometimes I have such reservations with donating, because I trust the organization, but if I could actually see my money being passed on to the people who I want to get it to, it's like the difference of, donating to a homeless shelter, or just going to, paying for a homeless guy's hotel room or something. I don't know, but it's getting where it needs to go. I'm the type of person, I guess it's like the analytical data side of the brain that I'm dominant on, not the creative side. And where I want to see the result. And so just donating to these charities and stuff like that and not really seeing the end result
Yeah.
doesn't really.
I also see it the other way. Yes, donating, but for a government to be able to disperse funds quickly, whether it is emergency funds through, floods or, a hurricane in Florida or anywhere, or, war efforts somewhere. Think about Ukrainians. There's millions of Ukrainians everywhere in the world right now. It's very difficult to get a bank account in majority of countries. A lot of them spend a lot of time depending on foreign aid or depending on money that's donated to them or agencies. It's like if the refugee program were able to, send USDC and then they could just cash them out at their local post office. That's pretty cool. So again, the UN refugee program, I think there's a lot of different ways they can leverage Stellar. This guy here, this is Shashank Rai, and he is the Chief Technology Officer of the United Nations International Computing Center. So again, more UN people there, and he's having a talk with Tori Samples right off the bat. You said yesterday, you were like, man, she's jumping in right away. Just hired by
I mean, you switch jobs, different company. I'm granted she was super familiar with Stellar to begin with, but yeah, she gets to jump right over and start having talks with people from high up agencies at the UN. So yeah, good
this would
for
be a
her.
good talk. She's an expert too in that topic, and leading that conversation. I think there'd be some really cool things to see.
Yeah. So a lot of UN people that, could be talking about what we're speculating they could be.
And then there's also this guy too. We talked to him last time.
Yeah, I saw his was going to be virtual. Back to the Converge thing. I remember they're Vitalik was going to be there, and then I saw a bunch in Serena. They were all just virtual. I was like, oh man, virtual. I almost drove down to San Francisco just for that, just to hang with these people. But they were on video. So,
yeah, but I understand.
Oh yeah, I mean, of course, he's in a country that's at war. I wouldn't imagine that he just leaves to go do a conference in Italy, but
they're adding people as we go. There's a guy that I just saw right now that I had no idea who it was.
Yeah, the lady at the bottom, Tracy. I think they're alphabetical. Yeah, Tracy at the bottom, in the middle.
So there was one more. There was this guy here. I hadn't seen him until today. Even before we started this talk, I'm pretty sure I checked it. And he is with the Brits. He's with the Brazilian Institutional Grade Sources built on Stellar. I haven't even seen this one.
Armino Tech.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a crazy amount of people that are. You mentioned that most of the events afterwards, the cocktail hour and stuff, if these people hang around, it's going to be just as many, attendees as there are speakers and stuff. So there'll be a lot of opportunities to talk to these people. Yeah, I hadn't seen this lady before.
Yeah, I think she studies the impacts of blockchain on.
So she's in the sustainability talk.
That's
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then so we do have, again, I'm not going to go over it completely, but there are some new ones we've talked about. We just saw Voton up here. Voton is Lewis here. I think they got approval from the Bank of Spain to run a trial. I think it was for remittance or something of sort. And then I think back in March they had a meeting or like a session with the Stellar Development Foundation, and I think the Bank of Spain was there too. So I'd be excited to hear more of what they've been working on.
Yeah, so I think it was this one right here. It was sometime or no, maybe this was too long ago, but it was sometime around this time. So I mean, there's been some stuff there, and I had honestly forgot about that. But there was also something they posted on LinkedIn that they had a picture. Oh yeah, you have it pulled up there. Go ahead and
there it is.
Yeah, so that's them meeting with some SDF people there. So it'll be interesting to see what they've been up to.
Sure,
so many of these we hear about and we don't hear anything, and we just assume that that didn't pan out or something. But back to the regulation stuff, it's like this stuff takes time, man. Like you're talking with big banks and whole countries and stuff. I mean, it's not going to move fast. So it's good to see that they're still obviously involved.
This was right after the Paris Blockchain Week.
Oh, okay. Did you take a screenshot? It says 1 week ago. That was.
That's a screenshot. Yeah, I took a week after that. I posted it in our chat a long time.
I was gonna say for sure that has to
I couldn't find it anywhere. I don't know if it was taken down. Anyways,
more than 1 week ago. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do with identity, humanitarian aid, and then the bridges stuff. So that was kind of the last thing. And just like I mentioned on the agenda, the equivalent conversation to when they did the burn from a couple of years ago will now be this talk right here at the end of the event, what it means to be trusted and trustless. So it's not kind of open-ended. There's nothing that definitively says that's in regards to bridges. But one thing is, someone from SDF recently said, I had to go back and look, and they said that the current tech feels like a ticking time bomb. So, and that's kind of maybe a somewhat odd comment when a focus of this event seems to kind of be bridges. And so this talk to close the event seems to kind of, we can assume that maybe there's something big to come out of this talk, since it's kind of the closing of the event. So, I mean, a lot of bad stuff has happened from bridges. Obviously, I mean, the new USDC thing will hopefully help a little bit of that, maybe. But I mean, a lot of people have lost a ton of money, a lot of trust in crypto due to bridges. So yeah, maybe the current tech is not optimal. Maybe they've thought of a different way or something like that. And
that's where the USDC, pseudo bridge, and like makes a lot of sense, because yes, it's like a trusted, because you've got a trust circle, but ultimately, like, why do you need a bridge if you can move over capital via USDC? So again, I do like that, big businesses, big trusted solutions like USDC are bringing stuff, but if we can do it in a trusted but at the same time decentralized manner, it'd be cool to see. I have the bridges talk here, and we have again, there's a new player that just showed up. That's Lewis from Curado. So we have Pendulum, we've talked about Allbridge and Axelar, and now we have Curado who showed up. So again, we don't know about the bridge grants. They haven't been announced, these winners, but I don't know. Seeing them talk at Meridian kind of gives me a thought that they would be maybe a grant recipient.
Yeah, I guess that's true, because they said they gave out 5 of those, right? There was 5 grant recipients.
1, 2, 3, 4, maybe, and we're missing one.
3, 4. Well, Pendulum, I mean, technically they got a grant a long time ago, right? To build. I mean, or Satoshi Pay got the grant to build that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to see a bridge from Ultrastellar. That'd be cool. But
yeah, I actually had that in my notes that Ultrastellar, I feel like they've been kind of quiet for a while, and I know I'm fairly certain. I believe I was told that they will both be there. Dima and Gleb will both be there. So yeah, maybe they've been quiet for a reason. They've been getting fed like Fred, and they're building something really big. So keep food.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to spend too much on this, but it's nice seeing some names here that Uller is there. So again, I'm very excited to meet everyone. I think it's going to be a pretty butt kicking opportunity to get to know people. Cool networking event. We were talking yesterday about, do we want to do interviews there? And we said, you know what, we kind of want to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So.
I'm real excited to meet this Michaela Urich from Novati. Like, I was told by John that she's super cool. And then just based on some Twitter stuff I've seen of her, I think she replied to actually something John posted. Yeah. And I was like, I can tell that we'll get along great. So I'm excited to meet Michaela, and then Novati, and then the Canadian stablecoins back when Danelle did the AMA in on Discord. She did mention, come and hear from them yourself, and you might hear about the launch of those stablecoins and stuff. So yeah, excited to meet her. Subscribers only mode. Oh, John's trying to get a hold of me over here. I was seeing what he had going on. Apparently.
But yeah, so again, I'm very excited to see everyone. I think it's going to be a good time, and we're less than 7 days.
Less than a week.
Yeah.
I'm still dreading the plane trip, but got to do what you got to do. Like you said, you're going to take your little Theragun or something, so I'll have to borrow that.
I don't know if I want to sacrifice that carry-on space.
That's a lot of weight. The battery, and I don't even know that's a battery. I don't know.
And it looks like a gun. So
yeah, it does look like a gun. Yeah.
Where's Raph? Well, he's all the customs. Yeah. Offering the customs officer massage.
Busted.
It's gonna be weird, even walking around. Like, I guarantee you, the 2 days before, everyone's gonna be in the same area, so it's gonna be like trying to guess, like seeing people that you kind of know or you've seen their picture before.
That's why I gotta wear the hat. Like, if I walk around bald Jayrome, no one will know who I am. Like, I gotta wear the hat. So.
Oh, before we go, I did want to show this one. I thought this one was brilliant. So let me just jump back into it. I had a good laugh. One sec.
I have no idea what is about to pop on screen there. No
the
idea.
5K run.
Yes, there's going to be a 5K run to see
Every
all
morning.
the sites. So I mean, let's do the math here. We've got to run. We've got to do a 5K, and they've got 45 minutes allotted, and we're gonna go see all these places in that 45 minutes. So
I don't know if I could. I think I'm gonna organize House Life with Jeeve and just like sit at a cafe or something, and we're gonna go. Maybe we'll go to a location and just like sip coffee,
watch everyone run by.
Yeah.
It says look for runners wearing a stellar outfit. I mean, I hope it is literally a stellar outfit. That'll be.
Oh, watch them be like running in astronaut costumes or something.
Oh Lord, that sounds like a challenge. Yeah, I don't know if I have room in the suitcase for some running shoes.
Imagine like getting those like soaked in sweat right before the conference.
I don't think it's usually like 10 o'clock. You got from 8 till 10 to go back and get yourself fed and.
I don't know
for the event.
I don't know. I'm gonna be sitting at a cafe at one of those locations.
We'll figure it out one way or the other. But
you shouldn't see.
Got a 5K run. Danelle's a big runner, so
she's the reason why we're doing this.
If I have a chance to go do a 5K with Danelle and say I've done a 5K with Danelle, I'll probably go do it. So even if I got to do a barefoot or something like that, probably.
I'll rent a scooter.
A
little moped. I'll be carrying the water supply. I'll be the water boy.
Yeah.
But
so anyways, I think you and I we got the no-go on any sort of video or anything like that during any of the events. But yeah, if you want to follow both of our accounts, I mean, there will probably be plenty of people there tweeting about this stuff, but I'll try and I think some stuff we're going to kind of divide and conquer. There's probably some stuff where we can't be in both places at one time due to all the different stages and stuff. So we'll try and keep people updated. This will be our last show before Meridian starts. yeah, give us both a follow, and during the event, we'll probably do as much tweeting about all the news as we can. Maybe we're staying at the same place. We have a vacation rental together. So, I mean, if we have some good Wi-Fi, maybe in the evenings, we'll try and pop on and do a quick, video overview of the day or something like that. But yeah, less than a week. So give us a follow. And then, of course, everybody shoot me or Raph your Stellar public key, and we will drop you the NFT for this episode. And Enrique, I will get with you. You're going to be at Meridian, so I'll just pop all that stuff in my suitcase for you. I don't need your address for that or anything, but yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. As a good time. We got Sam on here, got a first guest under our belt, and we've been told that once we're comfortable with guests, that we might be able to pull some people from SDF on here. So we'll see. We'll see how Meridian goes, as long as we're not
contacts Meridian. All right, I think that's kind of the idea.
Yeah, we'll see. And I think so. Amir said, I think Aquarius will be there too. Excuse me. And I know Jason was listed, so I don't know anyone besides Jay. I mean, Aquarius / Ultrastellar. I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of the next. I mean, I think it's same but different. But yeah, excited to meet everybody. If there's anyone out there, I think we know a lot of the community members that are going. But if there's anyone that's going to be there that I might not know yet, feel free to shoot me a DM or something and introduce yourself, and we will get together for some cocktails on the first day
or a 5K run.
What day is that? Is it Wednesday?
I think is that first morning too? Do we
No way they do that before Tuesday. I'll still be sore from the plane ride. Can't do that. Can't do that. So cool. You got anything else you wanted to hit on before we jump off of here?
No, I'm just happy to be here. Thanks guys.
Just happy to be here. A nice guy. He's just like, I'm just happy to be here.
That was cool. We had our first guest. So anyways,
yeah, we had our first guest. We didn't have any weird connection issues or anything, so I call it a success.
New camera's glitching.
Rob says, what is the reason they're basically doing a video blackout? Who knows? I wouldn't necessarily say it's a video blackout. I mean, they've said it's an in-person event. And, previously, I think people got used to, during the pandemic, they were doing, virtual Meridians and stuff like that. Going back to 2019, the last in-person event, I don't think they had any live video at that event. That's just like Sam was saying, he was just like on his phone and stuff like that. But John's telling me that the session recordings will be available just like they were previously after the event. Raph and I will try and keep everyone updated, especially if there's anything big. You're going to hear about it. I mean, it's not like it's just Raph and I in the room anyways. So other people.
We should buy all the tokens before we announce you the big news.
What's that?
We'll buy all the tokens.
Yeah, we'll have a button at the ready to front run people like SBF.
Sell you our bags.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I don't see any other questions or anything in the chat, so that covers it for me, man. I guess we'll sign off of here, and I will plan on seeing you in 6, maybe 5 short days. I forget what day I get there, but yeah, 5-6 days we will.
The last 2 are going to be really long, so
really long.
You're on the plane.
Yeah, not looking forward. Don't remind me. Cool, man. Appreciate it. Good time. Thanks everyone for dropping by. I will throw up that screen and we'll stay on for a second so you guys can grab that information. But if anyone's watching this after the fact, feel free to leave a comment on the video. If there's anything that we talked about in the video, I'll try and go back and leave links to all that stuff so you guys can get to it a little bit easier. But yeah, shoot us your public key via DM on Twitter. Either one of us will work, and we'll shoot you that NFT. And we will talk to you guys again soon. Thanks for dropping by.
Thank you.